What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It's your girl D here with your what? Vitamin D for free. You already know what it is. Just finished teaching cardio kickboxing a little bit ago. And, I always get prompted to do a little video. Praise God. Okay, so today's topic is going to be for the people who are having trouble being consistent in their workout routines. Okay, and this video is not to make you feel bad. I just want to hold up a mirror. I want to tell a little bit about my story, what I've learned over these last 20 years. And, my ultimate goal is to help you be inspired to create your own journey in your fitness and wellness routine, something that you can sustain for the rest of your life. So that's what you're going to learn in the next, I would say 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to make it short because, I don't want y'all to be on the internet all day. So, number one, I think it's important to us to really, really understand the quote that says, comparison is the thief of joy. Okay? And when we spend our time comparing ourselves to other people's fitness journey, it'll do two things, what I find. It'll either make you feel bad about your fitness journey, or you will overextend yourself because you can't do it like that person. And it's so important for us to understand that wellness, say it with me, saints, wellness, you will never win at wellness when you're comparing, okay? Nobody's measure of health is the same. Therefore, it's important for us to be realistic about what we can do, what we're willing to do, and what we have the capacity to do, okay? There is no one on this earth, regardless of what you see on YouTube and social media, that's more healthy than another person. Like, all we can do is pursue a great quality of life, and that means different things to each of us, okay? So I'm going to jump right into it. There are three questions that I personally ask my clients when I'm coaching them, or when they're new, or when we're just digging into their fitness goals and journey. The first question, when people say, D, I want to get fit, I want to lose 10 pounds, I want to lose 20 pounds, I want to lose 100 pounds in a year, right? My specialty is people who want to lose over 100 pounds. I love it. 500 pounds, 600 pound people, I love it. 400 pounds, 300, I love it, okay? When you tell me I got to lose 150 pounds, I'm ready, okay? So the first thing I ask them is, what do you have the ability to do? And as a trainer, I pretty much can watch what you do, and sometimes trainers do tests, right? We do tests to see what your ability is. So maybe it's a walk run test, if it's a core test, if it's a strength test. But if you come to one of my classes and you're new, I'm going to watch and see what your physical ability is. And if you are new to it, I'll ask you, what do you have the ability to do? And the way that I ask that question is, I notice your health history, I look at your injuries, I look at how you move, and that tells me what your ability is. A lot of us feel that we might have some level of disability, okay? We might have an injury or something like that, and we feel that it takes us completely out the game of wellness and fitness completely, okay? And I'm just here to tell you that it doesn't. As long as you are willing to get on this health journey and this fitness journey, you should be able to find a trainer or a program that's willing to walk alongside of you, okay? So I'm going to give you an example of ability. I have a new client who has had two knee replacements or something like that. Both of her knees are just shot out. And so she's like, my issue is that I have these knee problems. So I already know, as a trainer, her disability, not that she can't do anything, is that when we do squats, or if we have to be on our knees or something like that, I'll have to find a modification for her to work those muscles. And that's no problem, right? So you ask yourself, what do I have the physical ability to do? For the people who have not been exercising, let's just say you haven't exercised in the last 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, you have not done any weight training your whole entire life or anything like that. Your ability is going to look different than a person who has been consistently working out, okay? And that just means that your experience as a beginner is just going to be that, right? And even, let's just say, if I went back to doing CrossFit, I would be a beginner and I would have to share with my coach what my abilities are, okay? Because I want to focus on what are your abilities, not what are your disabilities. I will consider your disabilities because I want you to be successful, but you ask yourself, what am I able to do? I am able to walk a half a mile. I am able to stand up and march in place. I am able to lift weights. I am able to, okay? So we really want to enable ourselves and empower ourselves when we're on our journey. So that's the first question I want you to ask yourself. What am I physically able to do? The second question is, what do I have the capacity to do? Now, the way that life be lifing for a lot of us, our capacities change. Our capacity in our schedules, our capacity in our mental health, our capacity in our physical health, our capacity with work and career, our capacity with education, all of that affects what we're able and have the capacity to do in fitness. When I was a new trainer, I was very arrogant in thinking that everybody could do everything if they had the desire to do it. If they really, really wanted to do it, they could do it. As I've gotten older and I realized that people's priorities change, top tier health is not always your priority. Sometimes it's maintenance of health. Sometimes it's nutrition, and it always fluctuates. So you want to ask yourself, what if I look at my schedule, what do I have the capacity to do? If I look at my mental health, what do I have a capacity to do? Some of you all are in the area where your mental work, you're going to see your therapist, you're meditating, you are navigating your peace, and so your capacity to work out for a long time, let's just say an hour or whatever, is not that, because most of your capacity is put towards your mental health journey, and that's perfect. Some of us are in the journey where we want to cultivate our relationships with our children, our intimate partners, with our whomever, family or whatever that is. So that means that your capacity to put forth your fitness journey may look different, to where when you're maintaining those relationships, you might have more time, okay? One of my great mentors, and some of y'all might know her, Dr. Joelle Lewis Billingsley. She is absolutely incredible. Dr. Joelle told me this. The first time I want to say I moved back to Mobile from Birmingham, I was going through a very interesting mental journey off of the heels of a relationship, and I just did not have the capacity to work in ministry anymore, okay? I didn't have the capacity to work in nothing. I just was like, I want to work, I want to go home. I just don't have the capacity to support people in that area. And she gave me this mental picture that I want to share with you. I hope that it shows you what capacity looks like. All of us have a pie, okay? So we start off with 100% of, let's just say, a sweet potato pie. That is your capacity. That is your life capacity, 100%. And we start off with 100% every single day. Let's just say you are a caretaker, and 75% of your capacity is thinking about, caring for, and planning for a loved one, okay? So that's 75%. Let's just say you take 10% of that and you go to therapy because you want to be present to be that caretaker. That leaves 5% for whatever else you need to do for your, or let's just say 15% of what else you need to do for yourself. So that might be your physical health, that might be your nutrition, that might be your education, that might be travel, okay? You can't go past that 100%. You can't go past that. So whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, you guys, especially on your fitness journey, I want you to ask yourself, When it comes to my pie of capacity, okay, how much of the percentage am I giving to something? And I want you to evaluate it every day, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed, like you're not putting yourself first. If you feel that you are not putting yourself first, it is probably because a part of your pie capacity is going to something else, too much of it. Too much of it. Okay? So you look at your pie chart, 50%, like I said, 75% is going to caretaking, and then 20% is going to your kids, taking care of the family, and you only have 5%. This is why you feel like you don't have time to do anything, because you literally don't. You literally don't. So if your fitness routine is a priority to you, something has to give. You're not going to be able to go get some more capacity from somewhere else or from a friend or whatever. You're going to have to figure out a way to move it around. That might be through delegation. So instead of cooking, you might get meal prep. That might be through setting better boundaries so that the caretaking part may not take all 75%. Maybe you can scale it back to 50% so you can take care of yourself, right? So asking yourself, what do I have the capacity to do? And you do that through your capacity pie, okay? Number 3, this is going to be the part you ask yourself, what am I willing to do? Willingness has nothing to do with what you are physically able to do, and it has nothing to do with your capacity to do it. It is what you are actually willing to do. Newsflash, there are some days I wake up and I am not willing to go lift weights. No, ma'am. No, 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 no. Some days my capacity and my willingness looks like I'm going to go to bed on time. Sometimes my willingness doesn't look like I want to eat perfect. Some days my willingness is I can set my boundary because I feel overwhelmed. I can set my boundaries. I can let my no be my no, and that's my willingness, right? And I find that a lot of times we can't be consistent in our fitness journey because we are unrealistic about what we have the capacity, the willingness, and the ability to do, okay? And y'all know, some of y'all don't know this, but the way that my algorithm is on my social media, I literally see everything regarding fitness and workout with all of my friends. So I see when y'all comment on other people's fitness posts, I see when y'all ask about other people's fitness programs, and that's fine because I want everybody to be healthy. And quite frankly, we do need more fitness programs in Mobile, Alabama. So I'm happy to see that you're other places. But what I'm finding is that you all are asking other trainers and asking to sign up with them and never committing to any of it. You're members of gyms and you've asked 3 trainers about their programs coming up, and I don't see you at any of it. In fact, I see you posting more about your excuses of why you didn't show up. What that tells me is that there's a cognitive dissonance. What's reality and what you want, what's happening in your head is not meeting. You have a memory of what you used to be in the past, and you're trying to bring that memory to the future, and all it's doing is frustrating you, and you're literally paralyzed by all of these options and by the past. Okay? So it's important for you to ask those questions. What is my ability? What am I willing to do? And what is my capacity to do? The reason why I need you to ask these questions is because you need to begin to build your self-confidence. When you're not able to stick to a fitness routine, and this is no shot, y'all, because we all go through this, you probably have an issue with self-confidence. And self-confidence has nothing to do with your attractiveness, or if you think that I'm cute. I have high self-confidence. Self-confidence is you keeping your word to yourself. When you say that you're going to do something and you don't do it, you start to condition your brain to expect that the answer on the other side of that is whatever you do. So, for example, if you inbox me, some of y'all have inboxed me since 2005. D, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. D, I'm coming, I'm coming. Your brain already knows when you DM D Thomas and you say, D, I'm coming to your class, and you have not done it in 19 years, your brain is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your brain is going to say, oh, when you say you're going to work out, you don't. So that's always what happens. And so when you sign up, I'm ready, y'all. You sign up for a gym. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Well, for the past 20 years, you have not kept your word to yourself. And so that's going to be the answer to it. So how do you become more consistent? You reframe why you want to do this, and it's not always losing weight, and it's not always looking good. It's not always wanting a bigger butt. It's not always gaining muscle. It is because I need to keep my word to myself so I can build my self-confidence. I can pretty much tell how a person moves in other parts of their lives, in their relationships with people, based on the reality of them showing up for themselves by way of being honest with me as their trainer. I have people who train with me and just be like, for example, Shantae. Shantae is one of the most honest clients that I have. She not going to overextend herself. She going to say, D, I'm coming at 5 o'clock. When I get home, I rub my feet together. I'm watching Netflix all day. And then I'm going to eat. Baby, you know I love to eat. And Shantae going to be 100% honest about it. And I can tell by her honesty that she has great self-confidence in other parts of her life, because what she say, she pretty much is going to do. And that's, I need you to reframe that to all of my clients, all of anybody's training clients, whoever you are. The reason you need to show up to your fitness class or your personal training or to the gym is because you need to practice keeping your word to yourself. That's how we build self-confidence. If you say you're going to save $100, save $100. And it's just, and this is, and the thing about it is showing up and doing what you say you're going to do. Is it going to feel comfortable? No, because our brain wants us to reside in comfort. But if you're not challenging yourself, you're not growing. Comfort just keeps you where you are. Except in your brain, you think, oh, I want to get healthier. I'm going to just do this 1 mile, and then you do it sporadically, right? I did it, but I did. Okay, adjust your expectations at that point, okay? So you got to keep your word to yourself. You got to practice that, and you got to master keeping your word to yourself. Y'all, I got my shake, and I want some cheese grits. I want some cheese grits. I want a salmon croquet. Actually, I'm gonna tell y'all what I really want. And y'all, I don't care that I want to go to Pensacola and get some cheese grits with some oxtails on them. That's what I want to do. What time is it? It's 11:05, baby. Why am I thinking about cheese grits and oxtails? Big bag, okay? But guess what? I'm drinking my shake because I have to practice self-confidence, and I need to keep my word to myself. It has nothing to do with I need to lose 10 pounds. It don't have nothing to do with how I want to look. It is keep your word to yourself, and you say you want a great quality of life, and you say you want your joints to feel good, and you want the ability to teach 3 and 4 classes a day to your clients. Keep your word to yourself, drink your shake. That has nothing to do with what I feel like. It's simply keeping your word. That's why I want you to show up to your fitness routine. The second part, and Jihad said this at the end of 21 days, is you got to know your why. You got to know why you're doing this, y'all. And you'll never be consistent if your why is just simply to lose weight, because you're going to gain it back. I know a lot of people who have had gastric, and y'all know I don't care about no surgery. I don't care. Baby, you can get your belly button tucked into your spine and you can have no waist. I don't care. That's none of my business. To each his own. However, when it comes to your fitness routine, you have to know why you're doing this, and weight loss is not enough. Especially when you get up in age, okay? I just turned 38, praise God. When you get up at age 40, 50, 60, 70, listen, you 60 years old, you 55, talk about something. I'm coming to your class because I want to lose a little weight. Baby, you've been trying to, baby, that's been your goal for 40 years. And you have not done it consistently. You have not maintained your weight consistently. You have had gastric surgery and you ate the surgery out. You had a tummy tuck and you ate that tummy tuck out. Now you need 3 more tummy tucks. Now you need a back tuck. So that means that your why needs to be bigger than simply losing weight and looking a certain way. And y'all, I know people with the baddest bodies, honey. They done got their bodies done and their body is, they look amazing. They go to the gym and they're miserable because their why is not big enough. You got to have a why. Why am I I'm showing up to this workout because I want to be around for my kids. They got me running to and fro, honey. That's a good why. I want to be able to pick up my grandchildren, and right now my knees is not having it. Let me go ahead and drop these couple pounds because I want to live a better quality of life. Okay, listen. V is on here. She likes to travel, baby. V will travel down. Some of y'all love to travel down. Listen, you ain't gonna be able to get on no plane to Fiji, to Bali, to Mexico, whatever, and you gotta have a belt extender. You gotta buy 2 plane tickets, okay? All because you wanna eat a 50-piece every day and don't wanna go work out. You say you wanna go travel. Don't you know that you gotta walk when you travel? Don't you know that when you get up in that air, the air pressure and the cabin pressure, all that stuff, that affects your heart and affects your organs, and you get that pressure all over your body? You say you like to travel. I love to travel. You love to travel, but you don't want to come off of 2 plane tickets. You love to travel, but you don't, come on, walking in and out of that airport. You know you're gonna have to, at any point, if you got 3 planes to get on, at some point your behind gonna have to jog with a bag, with a kid, with somebody else. I got a client she turned 70 in September. And when I came back to Mobile, she said, D, I want to train with you. She did not say because she needs to lose 10 pounds, because she's 70. Okay? She said, because I want to continue to travel and I got a trip to India planned. She's going to India for her 70th birthday. And a lot of her friends are not healthy enough to travel. She's the main one that gotta drive and do that, this, that, and the other, and be watching out for her other 70-year-old friends. Y'all, whatever you love to do now, if that's not motivation enough to continue on, then what? So even if you're in your 30s and 35 now, you're like, oh, I want to get fine. My advice to anybody, if I was to look back, between the ages of 18 and 35, you better be getting into the best shape of your life and figuring it out. Between 18 and 35, you better be in that gym. You better be wherever, you better lift that way. You better drink that creatine, you better drink the proteins, you better drink your water, you better get into it and figure out your journey. Figure it out. Solid. Figure it out. Solid. Because when you get to be 40 and older, you're going to want to enjoy your life. You're going to want to enjoy your life, and you're going to want to enjoy the things you enjoy. If you love to spend money, don't you want to be healthy enough to spend that money? What you working for if you can't even walk in Saks? You can't stand up long enough to look at the Louis, to go try on the red bottoms, stand up in the showcase, cause you didn't take care of yourself. You know you like heels. Baby, if you love heels right now, go ahead, get your knees strong, take your collagen, okay? Work them calves out, stretch them out so you can wear your heels when you 70, babes. Cause we're gonna be fine regardless. Right? And so you got to know your why, and your why has to pull you to the future, right? And your why has to push you through the challenging times. And sometimes your why is, I want to be in a really good mental state so that I can weather the challenges of life. Because they come in. We're ignorant to think that challenges of life are not coming. So I need to develop a fitness and workout program that I can consistently do, that I have the capacity to do, that I have the ability to do, that I have the willingness to do. Some of y'all are overshooting your goals because you're looking at everybody else. Oh, I want to look like them. Baby, you ain't never going to look like Sha'Carri Richardson. You're never going to have no legs like Serena Williams. Never. What do you think, you're an Olympic athlete? I want to look like this. Baby, you is not an Olympian. You are you. And wellness is not a competition. Wellness is an internal journey of self. And the only thing you can control is your consistency, your commitment to yourself, and your own self-confidence. So what are we doing this for? We're doing this to build our self-confidence, and we're doing this for our why, ultimately. And don't you know, when you are consistent with yourself and you build your self-confidence, it's going to exude through the outside, regardless of what you look like on the outside. A person who is self-confident because they kept their word to themselves, it is more, the confidence and the glow exudes more than a perfect person who looks perfect. I would rather have 10 pounds on my stomach and keep my word to myself. I got a solid fitness program. I keep my word to myself. I'm joyful. I'm having a good time. Than a person who is 10% body fat, got a six-pack, and they miserable because they ain't kept their word to themselves. I would rather be 10 pounds overweight. I'm keeping my word to myself, and I'm working to be the best I can be. Like Kenyatta said, that's every day. We wake up, we pick up our cross, and we be the best we can be. I would rather be that person because when I go to bed at night, like Jim Rohn says, I can say to myself, I poured it on. The dissatisfaction that a lot of us are finding in our fitness and wellness routine is that we know we did not give our best effort. Like Mary said, Mary Stewart. Mary says, D, I'm giving my best effort. Mary's iron was low. It was so low at this point. And she would say, D, I'm giving my best effort. And when you give your best effort, you can go to sleep at night and nobody can convince you you should be doing more. Nobody. Because you know you've poured it on. I poured it on. My best effort today was eating a salad. I drank my shake. I kikied with my friends, and I walked for 15 minutes outside. If you know that was your best effort and you kept your word to yourself based on the plan you developed for yourself, then we get somewhere. And don't you know, when you do this, y'all, that the weight, the bloating, the inflammation will come off. Why? Because a lot of the weight and the inflammation that you all are carrying is somebody else's. A lot of the weight you are carrying on your body is somebody else's. So put that in the chat. I need that to put that in your head. A lot of the weight you are carrying is someone else's. A lot of the weight I'm carrying is someone else's. It could be a person that is your friend now. It could be a family member now. It could be an ancestor. It could be somebody who is not here right now. They had an expectation on you, and you have not made the decision to lay down their expectation. I watched it. Literally, there are some of y'all who did that 21 days with us, and y'all already work out. Y'all already work out. But you did that 21 days, or you doing Pilates with me, and you're like, D, I done lost 10 pounds. One time, Rondalyn said, D, I done lost 12 pounds. And that's that show up. That's because you stepped into showing up for yourself. And that time frame that you worked out and you exercised with us, you normally would have been taking on somebody else's weight. And instead, you said, I'm just going to go ahead and set that down, and I'm going to step into my own responsibilities. I'm telling you. When I say I'm telling you what I know, I've been doing this long enough, it's like magic. Once you get into your routine and you get into a community, and it does not have to be mine, baby, because I am not for everybody, honey, okay? Once you get into that community, what I say, community is medicine, your mind is going to be clear. You're gonna start allowing your no to be your no and your yes to be your yes. You're gonna start setting boundaries, and you're gonna start letting your family members, your kids, your significant other know, hey, I'm gonna be out of pocket for an hour, 2 hours. I give y'all 80% of my life, and I know everything is not gonna be on fire when I do it. When I do this, don't call me unless it's emergency, and if it's an emergency, call 911. Okay? Because I'm going to do this for myself. And when you get into that community, and instead of taking on somebody else's responsibility, you take on yourself and you start to keep your word, the weight is going to fall off, not just on your body. Mentally, the weight is going to fall off because you just get a relief at them. I don't have to do nothing but care about myself. I don't have anything to do except when my trainer say, good job, Lauren. Good job, Dee. Good job, Kenyatta. Good job, Brittany. All I had to do is soak up the compliments. When you look at your sis on the side and they say, girl, you looking good. You got the little cuff on your butt. You get a little moment, right? You get a little moment to soak that in and say, yeah, I am doing a good job. Some of y'all are going through your life right now, and the reason you can't be consistent in your fitness routine is because you're not getting any recognition. You're not getting a pat on the back, right? You're not getting any love, any positivity, and you're just like trying to do it on your own. And the on your own is not working. It's because you're either working out because you don't like your body, or you're working out because you're trying to do a way that somebody else is doing it. And my clients will tell you, if I ever get an inkling that you're comparing your journey to someone else's, or you're comparing your body to somewhere else's, or you're comparing the way you move to somebody else's, boy, I'm going to whip you up and down the other, one side down the other. Y'all know I get to carrying on when I see that, because comparison is a thief of joy when it comes to your fitness and wellness routine. It truly is, y'all. So I want to empower you now, and I want to give you the permission to have your own fitness journey. And I want to empower you and give you the permission to move how your body moves. In this season, I want to empower you and give you the permission to not be perfect. I want to empower you to understand that consistency does not mean 100% every day. Consistency means I'm going to do what I said I was going to do, even if I'm at 20%. Because if I wake up and I'm at 20%, and I give my 20%, I gave 100%. And guess what I'm going to do? When I lay down, I'm going to do what? I'm going to say, D, you poured it on today, even at my 20%. And then before I go to sleep, I'm going to hope for and look forward to 100%. And I'm going to give what I have in that capacity. So I want to empower you guys. Whatever your journey looks like in this season, it's going to change. There's going to be some seasons where you have the capacity to stretch. Some seasons you have the capacity to walk outside and get some sunshine and go to therapy with D. Jones. That's it. You like, D, you go talk to D. Jones, and then she going to tell you, hey, go get you some sun, go to Municipal Park, go walk around for 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, or go sit out on your porch, get you some vitamin D. That's what sometimes your capacity, your willingness, and your ability looks like. There are going to be some seasons when your period not taking you down through there, you feel amazing, and you just out here throwing weights around you to hit your protein macros, and it's 25 weeks of you getting it in. There are going to be also some seasons, okay? There are going to be some seasons that you go through grief, and the best you could do is do a little Pilates online, but you're still tapping in with your community, and you're still going to your therapy, because you understand that seasons change, and it's not always going to be like this. And to be flexible, what are we doing? We are marrying the vision Okay? We are marrying the concept of wellness and well being, but we are dating the plan. But what is it about dating? You're still showing up and you're still cultivating the relationship, even if it's different types of dates, even if it's a different type of frequency, even if it's different type of ways, we're still dating it with the ultimate goal of marrying the vision of well-being how we want it to be. Okay? So I hope this helps somebody. We have 6 more days until we move into our fit and bougie space, and I'm excited to have more talks like this. And more than that, I'm excited to put it into practice, so I can show you. Okay, so I can show you what it looks like practically. If you tell me, D, I can show up 2 times this week, and you show up 2 times this week, and I'm gonna celebrate you because you showed up 2 times this week. We're not overextending ourselves. We're being realistic, but we're also still challenging ourselves. And we're keeping our word to ourselves and doing what we said we're going to do, because that self-confidence carries over to every other part of our life. Our self-confidence will carry over to our education and our degrees. Our self-confidence will carry over to your relationships with your kids. When you keep your word to yourself, you're able to keep your word to your children, and you're able to authentically teach them how to keep their word to themselves. Okay? So I love y'all. I know that was a long, extended outro version of establishing a solid fitness routine and maybe why we can't, do it. But I'm confident that with these things, you will be able to. So the 3 questions you ask yourself, just to recap, is what do I have the ability to do? Number 2 is what do I have the capacity to do? And number 3 is you're asking yourself, what am I willing to do? I like to ask myself that often. Sometimes I ask myself that multiple times a day, just to tap in with who I am, how I'm feeling, and making sure I'm not comparing myself to another person. And then the second part to that is keeping your word to yourself and mastering doing what you said you're going to do, even if it's uncomfortable. And number 2, getting connected to your why. Why are you exercising and moving more? All right? I love y'all. Happy Tuesday, and that's your vitamin D for free. Bye, y'all.